What's up, guys? I know I'm supposed to do the intro for this, but however, I just want to let you know, since I've been behind on a couple of videos from Wrestlelamia, I just want you guys to know that I'm going to do a 4 combined set where I'm going to do 4 videos of the rumor reports from the week, last week, yesterday. So I just want to let you guys know. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the first one. Y'all see the title. And there's no need for me to put the, name of the channel because you guys already know. So you'll see her on the intro of the video. So let's go ahead and get started.
What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including WWE quietly ends a stable, bad news for AEW after Jon Moxley went off script, is a popular WWE star turning heel, WWE stars win AAA titles, a former WWE star joins ONLYFANS, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new videos on Wrestlelamia XL. Now let's do the intro and get straight into our first story. Our first story looks at WWE quietly ends stable. Now, our top story today takes a look at official confirmation when it comes to the dissolvement of a popular WWE stable. Since Dakota Kai's WWE release, fans have been wondering what the status of Damage Control is. Kairi Sane is back on WWE programming, and with Asuka set to return on Raw tonight, there was some hope that WWE may reform the stable with Io Sky as the leader. Sadly, that doesn't look to be on the horizon. According to a new report from Fightful Select, the stable is finished for the foreseeable future. A foregone conclusion was effectively confirmed. Damage Control was quietly disbanded. Fightful Select asked for details behind the decision, and we were told an internal decision was made early May when Dakota Kai was officially released. The note to no longer announce the remaining members as representing Damage Control was handed down around then. According to the report, there's still potential to revive the group in the future. With Bayley split from the group, Dakota Kai released, Asuka still sidelined, and Kairi Sane recovering at the time, that left only Io Sky. By the time Kairi Sane returned from injury, the group had already been ended behind the scenes from an internal standpoint. With Asuka returning, we asked if that meant the group still had life. We were told as of the time that creative was developed, it wasn't. We're told that this doesn't mean combinations of the group couldn't end up teaming when they're healthy, and that the name could eventually be revived. Whilst this may come as a disappointment to many fans of the stable, the group had definitely run its course, and with Kai being released, there was no reason to keep the group alive at all. Sky, Sane, and Asuka all pursuing respective singles runs is probably in their best interest right now. Like the Fightful Select report states, the door is always open for a reunion down the road.
Well, rest in peace to Damage Control, man. Shit, we're probably going to say the same thing when the Judgment Day ends. But, I mean, I really thought they were going to return with just all Japanese women, but hey, it is what it is, man. Shout out to Damage Control, man. Yeah. And sooner or later, Bayley might leave too. But you never know. We never know.
Next up, a popular WWE star turning heel. Could former Women's Intercontinental Champion Lyra Valkyria be turning heel? Well, WWE correspondent Sam Roberts believes so, as according to Roberts on his podcast, he sees Valkyria turning heel in the feud between Becky Lynch and Bayley. The reason I see Lyra returning, there's 2 reasons. Number 1, her level of aggression, but number 2, this idea of like the problems between Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria are not over. But Bayley has stepped right in and said, now it's my turn. I'm going to go ahead and take out Becky Lynch and make the story about me. It doesn't feel like organically it should lead to Lyra and Bayley being on the same page. It feels like Lyra should take umbrage with this and maybe see things the way Becky saw and realize that Becky was right. But this would be a crazy move from WWE. Valkyria is one of the most organically over female talents on the roster, and to turn a heel may backfire on the company. Whilst Valkyria may have an issue with Bayley stepping back in the limelight, it looks like the natural direction is a 3-woman feud over the Intercontinental title. What do you guys think of the idea of WWE turning Lyra Valkyria heel?
Now, I did say a long time ago that they should form this clique, but because Ella Dawn is gone, they could still form it without her. Like, just add Alba and Piper, and then you guys can just be a heel clique. Get rid of Chelsea, and then you can go. And then we could see Bayley and Chelsea team up to go against, Celtic Alliance, foreigners. Go up against Americans. I think that would be cool. What do you guys think? Y'all comment down below and let me know. To me, that's the only way I can see Lyra being heel. is if she team up with Becky and then they recruit Alba and Piper. You know, both of them portray, you know, Chelsea Green. I think that would be cool. What do you guys think? Comment down below, let me know.
Next up, SmackDown is staying 3 hours. It was widely reported that SmackDown would be reverting back to the 2-hour format this month. Obviously that hasn't happened, and there's been no information provided by WWE relating to a change in the format. But according to the Wrestling Observer Radio, as things stand, there are no plans to revert back to 2 hours of SmackDown. Well, it's 3 hours until they change it. It's not like originally it was going to stop in June, and USA had a show that they wanted to put on from 10 to 11, you know, piggybacking off SmackDown, and for whatever reason, they made the call that it wasn't worth it. And you know, for their ratings, it's not worth it. I think they realized that hour 3 is going to do triple anything that they're going to put in on that slot. It was also added that WWE aren't getting any extra revenue for the additional hour. Well, I guess the way they signed the contract, they must have given USA the option. Because if they were making more money on the deal, it absolutely would have been said at the investors call, and we would have seen it. We would have seen the difference in the money. So obviously the money has not changed, because if it was, we would have been told. Now, this makes no sense. Why would WWE continue to run an extra hour of SmackDown if they aren't seeing any financial rewards from it? Fans have already been extremely critical when it comes to the 3-hour format of SmackDown, as unless the top stars are featured on the show can be exhausting to sit through. Clarity is definitely needed when it comes to the future of SmackDown, as if the show remains a 3-hour product moving forward, a lot of things are gonna have to change from a creative standpoint.
Obviously, this is a whole video, so they're not going to report it. But yeah, WWE will be going back to 2 hours next month, so be prepared for that. Because I'm sick and tired of staying up past 11 to wait for CJ to drop a video. So I can't wait for that to happen because honestly, I need some sleep. And I need to get on the video immediately. So I think that would be good because we need those 2 hours. So, and I want CJ to drop a video at 11 o'clock on the dot. So yeah, I'm all for it. Are you? Comment down below, let me know.
Next up, bad news for AEW after Jon Moxley went legitimately off script. Now, AEW and their world champion Jon Moxley are officially being sued. A production crew member named Christopher Dispenser has filed a civil lawsuit against AEW and Jon Moxley, and he alleges various degrees of negligence alongside civil assault and battery. According to the report, Dispenser is claiming that he suffered injuries due to being shoved to the ground by Moxley during an episode of AEW Dynamite. Dispenser claims he suffered severe neck and shoulder injuries as a result of being shoved to the ground unexpectedly by Moxley during a match with Kenny Omega. Dispenser alleges in the lawsuit that the incident resulted in him requiring cervical fusion surgery, shoulder surgery, and treatment for other unspecified injuries. According to the lawsuit, Moxley went off script, and Dispenser was never said to be involved in any type of physicality. Dispenser said the injuries occurred on May 10th, 2023 edition of AEW Dynamite in Detroit. There, Moxley faced Omega in a cage match which ended up spilling to the outside. Moxley went to grab a screwdriver to use on Omega and in doing so, shoved Dispenser to the ground. The lawsuit claims Moxley was supposed to only grab the screwdriver and Dispenser took an unplanned fall as a result of being shoved. His legal team alleges that this is an example of civil assault and battery, claiming that in allegedly deviating from the script, Moxley either showed intent to harm Dispenser or at the minimum a complete disregard for whether harm was a result. The lawsuit would also state that Moxley had an established history of disciplinary issues prior to the incident, but this is something that AEW outright denies. This is terrible for AEW, and it'll be interesting to see if any official comment is made by Tony Khan.
They'll be fine.
Next up, WWE stars win the AAA titles. The main roster stars Los Garza are the new AAA World Tag Team Champions. Last night, Angel and Berto won the titles in a 4-way bout at Triple Mania. Los Garzas managed to defeat the teams of Nick and Ryan Nemeth, Psycho Clown, and Pagano, and reigning AAA World Tag Team Champions Sanson and Ferestro. Fans were quick to draw attention to the fact that Nick Nemeth was in the match, with Nemeth of course being former WWE star Dolph Ziggler. Now it's likely that WWE will feature the tag titles on the main roster moving forward, as having Los Garzas appear on Raw or SmackDown with the titles will lead to a surge of exposure for the AAA tag titles and the division. Next up, a new face at WWE revealed. WWE has once again decided to commit to a substantial push for Seth Rollins. Rollins and his new stable dominate Raw on a weekly basis, and he recently won the Money in the Bank briefcase for the second time in his career. According to wrestling legend Matt Hardy, he believes that WWE are going all in on Seth Rollins. Hardy would even go so far as saying that WWE are going to do everything they can to make Seth Rollins the guy. Speaking on his podcast, Hardy stated, The Seth Rollins thing is fine. I like the fact that, we thought it was a red herring. I thought it was too. I thought they would use this to elevate someone else. But they really have all their momentum behind Seth Rollins right now, and they're gonna do everything they can to make Seth Rollins the guy. WWE are without a doubt positioning Rollins as a top heel in the company, whilst WWE are firmly setting on keeping Cody Rhodes as the face of the company on the babyface side. Rollins' ascension to being the top heel in all of WWE is likely to come into fruition whenever John Cena inevitably turns back to his babyface persona. Some fans have already theorized that Rollins is going to play a role in Cena turning back into a babyface, with some even suggesting that Rollins cashes in on Cena, which in turn will make Cena realize the error of his ways. A feud between Rollins and Cena is a safe bet for WWE when it comes to Cena's final active year. The two all-time greats have had some tremendous matches in the past, and there's established lore and continuity to explore with a new storyline between the two.
All good until Roman comes back.
Next up, Raw GM taking time off. In typical Adam Pearce fashion, he took to X yesterday to give a rundown as to what fans can expect from Monday Night Raw. In his latest post, Pearce announced that he wouldn't be on the show in any capacity this week as he's on vacation. Pearce announced that SmackDown General Manager Nick Aldis will be stepping in to fulfill the GM role on the show. It's unknown how long Pearce will be on vacation for, but we can logically assume based on his video that it appears to be a 1-week break, with Aldis just stepping in for a one-off. Next up, a former WWE star joins OnlyFans. A former WWE US Champion Matt Riddle has decided to join OnlyFans. Riddle took to X last night to share a video of him in a robe, formally announcing that he's joining the platform. Riddle has decided to market the launch with the BronlyFans logo, and he suggested that if fans want to see more of him, they need to subscribe to his OnlyFans page. Riddle's page is now live, and his subscription costs $20. And finally, WWE announces a Super Show. Our final story today takes a look at the announcement of a WWE Super Show. There were rumors that WWE would be running a big show in Mexico this summer, and this has now been confirmed via an official announcement. During AAA, an advertisement announced 2 upcoming WWE Super Shows in Mexico for next month. In addition to the show in Monterrey on July 27th, WWE's main roster crew will also host at Arena CDMX in Mexico City on July 26th. An official poster for the show was dropped, with all the top WWE stars set to appear, including Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. Interestingly, Rey Mysterio is front and center on the poster, but with Mysterio currently being sidelined due to an injury, it's likely that this will just be a cameo appearance, and the legendary performer won't be taking part in any physicality.
Rumor has it who, 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 rumor has it. Let's get to the second video.
What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another video. Join us now as we look at this week's edition of Raw, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including bad news as Liv Morgan is legitimately injured. Her injury has caused a number of plans to be cancelled. Rhea Ripley breaks character to address Liv Morgan's injury. WWE are refusing to bring back a former champion. A WWE star is receiving a major push. Carlito says Triple H was never a fan of his character, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new videos on Wrestlelamia XL. As always, we won't recap the show, but just look at the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. As always, we start off with the good, as number 1, Io Sky opens up the show. And we're at last. WWE remembered that Io Sky is the Women's World Champion. Sky would interrupt Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio to kick off the show. It was a nice change of pace, and the fans were utterly delighted to see Sky back on television in a meaningful role. Whilst it did look like WWE will be building towards a new program between Sky and Liv Morgan, due to an apparent injury to Morgan, sadly these plans will have to be halted for the foreseeable future. Number 2, Graves is back. Due to Pat McAfee's absence on Raw, Corey Graves received the nod on color commentary duties. As always, Graves did a stellar job in the role, and Graves continues to be one of the most underrated commentators in all of wrestling. He's received praise over the past 12 months for being able to adapt to any role on the commentary table, and it's likely that Graves returns to the Raw commentary role full-time when McAfee takes another extended leave of absence from WWE. Number 3, Asuka returns. Now at long last, Asuka is back. Asuka returned in the latest Fatal 4-Way and managed to advance to the next round of the Queen of the Ring tournament. Asuka would receive a huge ovation from the crowd, and whilst it was widely believed that Stephanie VACATE would be pushed into the finals of the tournament, WWE evidently believed that pushing and returning Asuka is definitely the right call at this time. It's also cool to think that Asuka is now returning in her 21st year of pro wrestling. Asuka would make a wrestling debut all the way back in 2004. What a way to kick off the 21st year. Number 4, Goldberg vs Gunther. That was the worst kept secret in WWE, but Goldberg is officially back. Goldberg would return on Raw last night to formally challenge Gunther for the world title, and the match is now confirmed for Saturday night's main event in what is expected to be Goldberg's final ever matchup. Whilst the segment was short and sweet, some fans have been critical, as Goldberg suddenly being #1 contender for the world title despite not even winning a match in years doesn't even make a ton of sense. It would be appreciated for WWE to offer some kind of explanation as to why Goldberg just came in and receives a fast track to the world title. I guess if you're a WWE legend, you're instantly #1 contender. That's not the way it should work. Number 5, the women's IC title shines. The WWE continues to do a stellar job with the presentation of the women's Intercontinental title. Bayley would cut a passionate babyface promo on the show last night that was perhaps her strongest promo in some time. WWE have the chance to make the Bayley vs Becky Lynch feud truly special. Yes, they're definitely on the right track. WWE would also deliver a backstage segment between Bayley and Lyra Valkyria, and it was explained that Bayley hadn't been returning Valkyria's text messages. It's great to see that WWE are keeping Valkyria in the mix, as her work with the women's Intercontinental title was stellar, and she deserves to maintain a prominent fixture on Raw.
Okay, I just watched a segment just now with these two, and I ain't gonna lie to y'all, judging by the makeup on Lyra's face, there's a possibility okay, the heel turn we're gonna see, right? But you know what we need to see? The fact that she got those eyeliners on, we need to get Tatum on Monday Night Raw to team up with Lyra, so that way we got ourselves a tag team, bro. She don't even have to team up with Becky. She could just team up with Tatum, and then those two could just team up. Draft Tatum to Raw so that way they can team up, bro. I've been begging for weeks and months to have those two team up. Look at the makeup on her face. That reminds me of Tatum. So bring these two back together, Hunter. Come on. Tatum is all alone. She don't need to be in the calling. Call her to the roster. That's the calling. The calling is for her to come to Raw so that way she can team up with Lyra. Help her win some gold, for crying out loud. So why not? Let's do it.
In a chaotic main event, Raw was main evented by a chaotic fatal 4-way between Jey Uso, Sheamus, Rusev and Bronson Reed. The match was an excellent way to end the show, and as expected, main event Jey advanced in the next round of the King of the Ring tournament. Once Jey picked up the W, Mr. Money in the Bank Seth Rollins would interrupt and look to set his sights on a prone Uso. However, in an unexpected twist, the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes would make the save for his friend, and in a fantastic act of continuity, Rollins refused to get physical with Rhodes and instead decided to leave the ring. That was good. What about the bad is number 1, the tag division. Our Raw's tag division continues to be a major flaw on the show. The New Day would cut a promo during the commercials to state that nobody was worthy of challenging them. It does look like they planted the seeds for a New Day vs Usos feud, and this is mainly based on New Day's social media antics, and this would be a positive step forward for the tag division. However, is it enough to reignite it? There was nothing downright ugly on this week's show, as the show was well paced and managed to build all the top storylines on the show. It would have been nice to see either CM Punk or John Cena on the show, but the surprise appearance from Cody Rhodes more than made up for a lack of star power when it came to the major names. What did you guys think of Raw last night? Let us know in the comments down below. Now, let's move on to the news. Now, first story looks at Liv Morgan legitimately injured. Now, our top story today takes a look at the latest when it comes to Liv Morgan's injury. Last night on Raw, Morgan was wrestling Kairi Sane when just minutes in, the match was called off. Morgan had an awkward landing and she looked to be in immense pain. It's believed that Morgan suffered a separated shoulder, which is sadly one of the more frequent injuries that occur in the squared circle. A PW insider is reporting that the injury is totally legitimate and isn't being used to write Morgan off television for an outside project. It's 100% a legitimate injury. For those who've asked with conspiracy theories that this was a way to write her out for an outside project, no, it was not. Morgan was checked out by WWE medical personnel as soon as she was brought backstage. PW Insider's report also notes that WWE are waiting to learn the severity of the dislocation, and this will determine how long Morgan will be out of action for. WWE is waiting to learn the severity of the dislocation, which would determine how long Morgan would be out of physical action. If it is a severe dislocation, it could be upwards of 16 weeks before someone is cleared for athletic activity. But again, this is all dependent on the final diagnosis in terms of how severe the dislocation is, and that has not been determined as of this writing. We're told it was being seen as a freak occurrence, and there's no heat on anyone. But now has a major match been cancelled. Due to Liv Morgan's injury, there's now concern from fans when it comes to Evolution. Morgan didn't just launch a new program with Io Sky on Raw last night, she also started a feud with Nikki Bella last week. This was likely leading to either a singles match between Morgan and Bella or a tag match which would see the return of Brie Bella. Now due to Morgan's injury, these plans are going to be cancelled with immediate effect. But not only that, it also seems like the tag titles are in danger as well. According to the Wrestling Observer Radio, WWE could also be forced to vacate the tag belts. Brian Alvarez mentioned on the show they're going to have to vacate those women's tag team titles now. They also touched upon the recovery timeline, saying if the shoulder's dislocated and you pop it back in, then it could be a long time. It could be not a long time. I guess it depends on how much damage was done when it came out. There are people that their shoulder gets popped out and they get their shoulder put back in rather quickly, they're ready to go again. So I think in a couple of days we'll probably know. Unfortunately, the curse of the Women's Tag Team Championship continues with Liv Morgan being injured. If you look at the history of the belts, there's always one tag partner that has been out with an injury. This was the case for Jade Cargill, it was the case for Sonya Deville, it was also the case for Dakota Kai. Seems like the wrestlers that hold these belts just never get a break with them. We're wishing Liv Morgan a fast and full recovery.
You don't gotta make your mind up. You don't gotta make your mind up right now. Right now. No rush, no pressure. You don't gotta make your mind up. You don't gotta make your mind up right now. Right now. No rush, no pressure. Baby, no rush. You don't gotta make your mind up. You don't gotta make your mind up right now. Right now. No rush, no pressure. You gotta make your mind up. Make your mind up. Make your mind up right now. Right now. No rush, no pressure. Yeah. Yeah. Baby, no rush, no pressure. Let your shoulder heal. No rush, baby, no pressure.
But next up, Rhea Ripley breaks character to call out disrespectful fans. Now, while it's always the case when a real-life injury occurs, some fans take things way too far. A certain portion of the fans was celebrating that Liv Morgan was hurt on Raw, and a kayfabe arch-rival Rhea Ripley decided to take to X to call these so-called fans out. PSA, don't celebrate an injury. Disgusting behavior. Don't be like them. Now it goes without saying that this type of behavior is not okay. Additionally, it's also not okay to attack Kairi Sane. Injuries can occur at any time, especially ones such as a shoulder dislocation. Many fans are calling Kairi Sane out for not looking out for Liv Morgan, but what in the world was she supposed to do at the time? Administer first aid? No, just let the referees and WWE staff handle the situation.
I still think this is unnecessary from Rhea Ripley because it makes it seem like that her and Liv are cool. Like, okay. I know they're cool outside of work, but in work, I need you to stay on character, okay? Focus on your shit. Stop focusing on anybody else's shit, okay? Liv Morgan's injury ain't got nothing to do with you. At one point it was, but this right here ain't got nothing to do with you, Rhea. All right? This has nothing to do with you. All right? There's no reason for you to write that tweet. No reason. All right? If you're going to stay in character, stay in character. Everyone else is staying in character. Why won't you? Now, Kairi Sane, she did write a tweet, but again, that was out of backlash. You know, the backlash made her do that. So, again, it's just sad that Liv Morgan's fans won't leave her alone. But that's why I say that's why everybody's staying in kayfabe, because you know they know that the fans are gonna exploit it, and then Liv gonna be like, yeah, they rocking with me, fuck y'all, you know what I'm saying? And I just think people just want to stay out of it, period. And Rhea and Kairi was definitely pressured on doing that, and you know, my advice is just stay off the internet. All right, let the internet do its thing while you just focus on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, because if you got injured, Liv Morgan would literally like clown you and make fun of you and play her role. You know what I mean? And for you to do that, it just makes it seem like it just like I ain't gonna call her names or nothing. I ain't gonna say nothing disrespectful, but I'm just saying like it just makes it look like you like every time the internet get to you, you let them get to you. You get what I'm saying? Like you have you don't have no like strong backbone when it comes to the internet, and that's one thing I just don't like. But whatever. Let's get to the video.
Next up, Carlito says Triple H was never a fan of him. A former WWE star, Carlito, has spoken out regarding his recent WWE release. Carlito appeared on Busted Open Radio yesterday, and according to Carlito, the more comedic side of his character was his idea, and he stated that Triple H wasn't a fan of it. I orchestrated that. Some people were complaining they have him as an idiot, but those were all my ideas. I took literally creative as nothing for you, and I made something of it. And I went there and I said, I'm not going to complain. I'm one of the older guys. I'm not going to get prioritized, and I'm not going to get pushed. And Hunter, Triple H, is not a fan of Carlito. I think he personally likes me, but I think he was never a big fan of the character. Carlito would also reveal that whilst he wasn't exactly shocked when it came to his WWE release, he does wish he got to finish his storyline with the Judgment Day faction. I wasn't too surprised or too shocked, you know what I mean? I signed for 2 years and it actually went better than I thought it would go. The only thing is I'm a professional, you know what I mean? They could have told me and I would have, okay, at least let me finish up the story for the Judgment Day so they can keep going. You know what I mean? I don't know why do something where do think it's a disrespect to the fans that, you know what I mean, they drop the storyline. Carlito makes a strong case here. To suddenly remove a stable member out of a popular faction makes zero sense, and it would have been welcomed if WWE at least offered a kayfabe explanation as to why Carlito is no longer on WWE television. What's also kind of cool at the same time is that Liv Morgan still has Carlito on her shin pads.
I still don't think she care about Carlito, but that's just my opinion.
Next up, a WWE star to receive a major push. Now it looks set that WWE star Julia will be receiving a major push up on the card on SmackDown. According to a new report from PW Insider, the internal belief in WWE is that Julia will be heavily showcased on the Blue brand in the coming weeks. Julia's firmly set her sights on Zelina Vega and the women's US title, and fans are theorizing that WWE are actually going to commit to crowning Julia as the new US champion.
It's a shame that Julia get a push, but Zelina Vega can't get it because she keep facing the same old people, but I think we all expected this to come, but I would rather for them to have a rivalry than for them to just lose the belt just like that. Like, why not just do a build-up to WrestleMania or something instead of just or a build-up to Evolution? Why not just do that? Because who is Julia gonna face next? You know what I mean? Like, is she just gonna face the same person, or is she gonna face Jordan Grace? That's what I'm wondering, but whatever. Salute to Selena. I'm glad she won the title, but the fact she got to lose it to Julia, I would rather for them to do a build-up. So. All right, let's continue.
Next up, a future WrestleMania main eventer revealed. An Evolved talent has been so impressive in the eyes of WWE management that they see them as a future WrestleMania main eventer. According to Fightful Select, Kaylee Armstrong has been receiving high marks for her work and she's been considered for a call-up to NXT. An Evolved talent has impressed many in WWE. Fightful Select spoke to sources in WWE that indicated that Kaylee Armstrong has turned heads of late, especially while working the recent Evolved tapings. There were people within the company who gave her high marks as far as saying she could be a future WrestleMania main eventer. Those that we heard from also said that she's already been discussed for a full-on call-up to the NXT roster. It was expected that she should get the call-up while serving as Evolved champion and has already regularly been working NXT live events. According to official records, Armstrong has only had 25 matches, so to be labelled as a future main eventer at WrestleMania with such little experience is a significant nod of approval from WWE. Next up, WWE refusing to bring back a former champion. WWE has zero plans whatsoever to ever bring back Alberto Del Rio. Body Slam reports that a return for Del Rio isn't being considered at all, and there's been no outreach to Del Rio when it comes to a return. Despite WWE acquiring AAA, it's widely believed that their stance on this won't change. And finally, an iconic WWE character has been retired. Our final story today takes a look at confirmation when it comes to the retirement of an iconic WWE character. Dustin Rhodes took to X yesterday to state that his legendary character known as Goldust is now retired forever. Rhodes stated that he's happy where he's at, which is likely to be a reference to him using his real identity in AEW. Goldust is one of the most celebrated WWE characters of all time, and no doubt Rhodes is a future WWE Hall of Famer.
Rumor has it who, 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 rumor has it. Let's get to the video. Third video. Yeah.
What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including a wrestler involved in a real altercation, terrible news for Liv Morgan, Kairi Sane heartbroken over injury, is TKO really selling WWE? Is a shocking WWE return on the horizon? Vince McMahon is coming back to wrestling, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new videos on Wrestlelamia XL. And now let's do the intro and get straight into our first story. Our first story looks at a wrestler involved in an altercation. Now, our top story today takes a look at reports relating to an altercation between MJF and a fan following AEW Grand Slam last night. During AEW Grand Slam, MJF would rip Mystico's mask off and proceed to wear it in the ultimate act of disrespect. One fan was deeply offended by MJF's actions, and according to Fightful Select, one fan legitimately went after MJF in the hotel after the show. It's still real to some. MJF got a good amount of heat from his angle at AEW Grand Slam Mexico. Sources in AEW claimed that the fan went after MJF at the hotel after the show. MJF was said to be okay and laughed the situation off and was proud of it. We broke the news on our AEW Dynamite post-show. We've not heard of any other incidents, but AEW is very happy with how the show turned out. Wrestlers being confronted like this in the modern era is virtually unprecedented. It'll be interesting to see if AEW release any official statement on the incident or even work it into an angle.
It'll be fine.
Next up, terrible news for Liv Morgan. Now, unfortunately, Liv Morgan's injury will require surgery. According to PW Insider, this is the worst case scenario, and this will mean that Morgan will miss a substantial amount of time away from WWE programming. Liv Morgan's separated shoulder will require surgery, PWInsider.com has learned from multiple WWE sources. This is pretty much the worst case scenario from the freak injury this past Monday, as it means she will be out a lengthy amount of time. Morgan was slated to appear at Fanatics Fest this weekend in New York City. Body Slam is also reporting something similar, with them adding that Morgan could be out of action for around 6 months. It's already been reported that WWE have been forced to rip up the planned Evolution card, and if Morgan is indeed on the shelf for 6 months, WWE are going to need to deliver a significant reset of the women's division, particularly on the Raw brand. Naturally, due to the 6-month span, fans on social media are already fantasy booking the idea of Morgan returning at the Royal Rumble, and if this is indeed on WWE's agenda, then she is without a doubt going to be a firm favorite to win the match.
Nah, I can see that happening if she be gone for 6 months, where she wins the Royal Rumble, right? And she face Roxanne. If Roxanne becomes the Women's World Champion or the Intercontinental Champion, and go off to WrestleMania to face each other. And then I don't know if that would be the main event, but it depends on the title. But if that happens, that would be good, because then that way Liv Morgan can score a dub. She'll get her first win at WrestleMania. And she'll get her first dub at the Royal Rumble match, because she never won it before. And she'll get her first dub at WrestleMania, and that would be the accomplishment for Liv Morgan. And at that point, you can't call her a jobber at that point. No, you just can't. But the main thing is that we don't want Liv Morgan to get back with Dom, and we don't want Dom to get back with Liv. We will want them to go their separate ways. You saw what happened with Rhea and Dom. I would expect that to be the same amount of energy for Liv and Dom, where, hopefully Dom don't be out there. But if he does end up to be out there, I would just hope that Liv Morgan would just, push him away the same way that Rhea did. And then both of them go their separate ways. That's what I hope, because at the end of the day, Dom could just lead Roxanne and then, continue to lead her until another chick come along. But I would prefer if he go on his own, but we just have to wait and see. But I still hope for him to, turn Roxanne the babyface by turning on Finn, but we have to wait and see. So, but yeah, Liv will be fine, man. I mean, if she be back next year, fine, but if she be back this year, I don't expect no changes. So we'll see. But well, changes for Dom and her relationship, but I meant like storylines between the opponents that she's facing. So, we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, let's continue.
Well, what was really supposed to happen on Raw? Well, now we know more information related to a Raw segment that was cancelled due to Liv Morgan's injury. According to the Wrestling Observer Radio, the original plans were to see Nikki Bella deliver a run-in during the Morgan vs. Kairi Sane matchup. Nikki Bella was there and she was going to do a run-in in the Liv Morgan Kairi Sane match to help set up, this next part of the angle. But they decided for whatever reason, I guess because everything was a panic at that point, and they probably didn't, put her out on a promo because it's like, well, if she's okay, which what do you say? So that's why she was not on the show. Even though she'd been advertised all week, she was there. Due to Morgan's injury, the planned feud between Morgan and Bella has been immediately scrapped. It was rumored that Brie Bella would return to team with Nikki, but now with Morgan being out of the picture, it's unclear what the creative plans are moving forward. Fans are now questioning what WWE's plans are for the women's tag titles, as Morgan will be forced to surrender the titles on behalf of the Judgment Day, but it's entirely possible that Roxanne Perez takes her place in the faction and becomes tag team champion by default. Do you think this would be a good plan, or should the WWE just vacate the titles and have, well, you know what Triple H loves, tournaments?
I mean, we could still do a tournament. It's just that, Roxanne would just have to take her place unless Raquel say no. But we could still have a tournament. I mean, the Bellas can still compete for the belts. It's not the end of the world. I mean, they signed contracts, so why not just do it, They still could get the belts. So I hope they set it up. Because I really want to see Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss versus the Bella Twins. Because I really think that would be a great match. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would really love to see the Bella Twins versus Charlotte and Alexa. But the only way that could happen is that the Bella Twins would have to turn heel. Which, I don't have a problem with that. But you still have to, put talent over. You know what I'm saying? Like, the ones I just put on this photo, you got to face them first before we get to them. But we could still looking forward to that. So we just have to wait and see. But the Bellas need to compete with the current tag team champions in order for them to be champions, because I really want them to retire with those belts. So, but then again, the belts can be passed on to Alexa and Charlotte. So I don't know, but I still would like for the Bella Twins to, at least have the belts. And if they ever do get rid of them, they could give it to them. So, yeah, that's what I would like.
Next up, Kairi Sane heartbroken over injury. Due to a portion of fans directing a ton of hate towards Kairi Sane for Liv Morgan's injury, Sane has been forced to take to X to issue an official statement. In the statement, she states that the injury to Morgan breaks her heart. One of the most painful things for me is when a match is decided not by wrestling, but because of an injury. I always step into the ring with the deepest respect for my opponent, and I train hard every day to give the audience something they can truly enjoy. Even if it was never intentional, knowing that someone was hurt in a match with me is something I care deeply. It breaks my heart. I hope with all my heart for a full and speedy recovery. I will continue to give my all, hoping to bring excitement, not pain, to the ring. Now hopefully this puts an end to all the hate that is being directed towards Sane. The injury to Morgan evidently wasn't her fault, and the fans need to remember that this is pro wrestling and freak accidents like this occur all the time. And more often than not, it's not either wrestler's fault, it's just the nature of the profession.
Man, I just want to say fuck y'all Liv Morgan fans, man. For all y'all that are forcing this woman to write this tweet, y'all need to go eat a dick. I hope every last one of y'all deactivate your accounts. Because the Liv and Dom fans already gone, right? They're disappeared. They're nowhere to be found. But for all y'all Liv Morgan fans that are hating on Kairi Sane and Rhea Ripley, I hate y'all from the bottom of my heart. I hate y'all. Everybody that's putting the pressure on Kairi Sane and Rhea Ripley to write these tweets, I hate y'all, and I hope all your accounts get deactivated. All of them. Okay? Fuck every last one of y'all bots that ride or die for Liv Morgan, knowing damn well you're never going to get a picture with her, never going to get an autograph, never going to get anything from her. And for all the males out there, you can't even get no head from her. So all y'all can go eat a dick. Straight like that. Like, fuck y'all gonna put the pressure on two innocent women and then send a stalker to go after Roxanne. Man, fuck y'all. I don't know who the fuck y'all think y'all is. gonna put the pressure on 3 innocent women. Man, fuck y'all. Plain and simple. Fuck y'all. We're not gonna kiss y'all ass. Who the fuck y'all think y'all is? And then you're gonna put the pressure on them to write these tweets. Man, fuck y'all Liv Morgan fans, man. All y'all that put the pressure on Kairi Sane and Rhea Rebbe to write these tweets, fuck y'all. And hope all y'all accounts get deactivated. All of them. So, I'm just gonna leave it at that, but it's a damn shame. But shout out to Kairi Sane, shout out to Rhea Rebbe. You know, we love y'all. So, you know, at the end of the day, we're going to look out for y'all. We're not going to let none of these Liv Morgan fans or, you know, all these fans that are hating on y'all, they're going to have to get it. They're going to have to pass that hate to us because we don't give a fuck over here. So, you know, we're going to ride for Rhea Rebbe. We're going to ride for Kairi Sane, and we're going to ride for Roxanne. So, all y'all that's mad that Liv Morgan's injured, fuck out of here.
Next up, Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch make amends. Now, the relationship between Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch has been a complex story. Now, one time, the two former best friends weren't on speaking terms. Now, thankfully, that looks to have changed, as according to Flair during a podcast appearance on Games with Names, the two are now on good terms with each other, and Flair would love to work with Lynch again in some capacity. We're cordial. No, we're good. I still think there's some story left there, so I don't think that there's a nail in the coffin yet. The two women have had one of the most celebrated women's feuds of all time back in 2018, and whilst they're both active and full-time on the main roster, there hasn't been a better opportunity to deliver a follow-up to the iconic rivalry. Next up is a shocking WWE return on the horizon. Now, we've learned to say never when it comes to potential pro wrestling returns, and if the latest report from Fightful Select is anything to go by, then Gail Kim will be returning to WWE in some capacity. According to Fightful's report, Kim was backstage at NXT TV this week. A very interesting name was around NXT this week. Fightful Select has learned that wrestling legend Gail Kim was backstage at this week's NXT. We're told that this also isn't the first time she's been there of late. When we asked if she's officially with the company, WWE sources said that she isn't as of this moment. Gail Kim was fired by TNA Wrestling earlier this year, and it was expected to have immediate interest from companies and had people pushing for her in both AEW and WWE. We've heard that WWE has been interested in bringing her on board since she became available. The company has kept her presence at shows very quiet. Kim's personal issues with WWE from her 2 previous runs are well documented, and Kim previously ruled out a WWE return. However, a lot of the names that Kim had an issue with during her prior runs are no longer running WWE, so it will be interesting to see if this will influence her to sign with the company. Kim is considered by many to be one of the greatest female stars of all time, and her work in a backstage role for TNA in recent years has received unanimous praise. There's been a push from fans and fellow wrestlers to see more female representation in backstage roles, and Kim would certainly fit the bill. Next up, the real reason WWE changed a theme song. WWE fans weren't pleased with the company's call to change Jordynne Grace's theme on NXT this week. In typical Def Rebel fashion, the new theme song is truly horrible, and according to Fightful Select, due to Grace owning the rights to her prior song, WWE wanted to change it and own the rights to her theme. The theme music that Jordynne used in TNA in her early NXT run actually belongs to her, and she retains the rights to. However, that among other things led to change. We're told that especially in recent months, WWE's been adamant again about owning theme songs that are used. Beyond that, a change was necessitated within due to the sirens at the start of it. With Bron Breakker's theme already having sirens, and the natural family connection to Scott Steiner, that was given the priority. Now, even Grace herself would address the backlash via X, and she would urge fans just to try vibe with the song, which of course drew even more attention to how atrocious the new theme song actually is. Additionally, Fightful would also comment on the possibility of mainstream acts such as Metro Boomin producing WWE themes, and they stated that WWE's insistence on owning the tracks is a major hurdle. Metro Boomin has offered to do themes for WWE, as have some other mainstream acts, but has been more picky on owning the tracks in many cases. And unfortunately, there are no signs whatsoever that WWE have any interest in ditching Def Rebel, and it appears that producing strong, meaningful theme songs is the last thing on WWE's agenda in 2025. Next up, Bryan Danielson returns. Now it looks like Bryan Danielson may have changed his mind when it comes to his retirement. Last night, AEW taped Ring of Honor Global Wars, and Danielson made the save for Blue Panther. Danielson would even get physical during his appearance as he hit a trademark running knee. Now, it's unknown if this means that he has agreed to more matches, or this is just a one-time only appearance. Next up, is TKO really selling WWE? There's been rampant speculation in recent weeks that TKO could be looking to sell WWE. These rumors were even referenced in a recent Yahoo article, but at this stage there doesn't seem to be any validity to the rumors. According to the Wrestling Observer Radio, TKO aren't looking to sell WWE, and they've even started to operate both UFC and WWE from the same office. The stories of him, Vince McMahon, somehow buying WWE, and I even saw a line in a story about how TKO is looking to sell WWE, and it's like, aside from that being denied all day, TKO has just saved between $100 million and $150 million by essentially removing so many jobs and things like that, because they could operate UFC and WWE with the same office staff. This could certainly put an end to the rumors of Vince McMahon potentially buying back the company, but it seems that Vince McMahon is still looking to be in wrestling in some capacity. And Vince McMahon seems to have been forever removed from WWE since resigning in January 2024. Whilst there's still an ongoing lawsuit between himself and Janelle Grant, Vince still wants to be involved in sports entertainment in some capacity. Recently, Vince McMahon tried to purchase Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, and this was also confirmed by the president David Feldman. He's a great guy, his whole team is great, but the timing wasn't right for us. He's Vince McMahon. If I were him, I'd want creative control too. He was awesome, very complimentary, and he was very serious to do business. However, the deal fell through, but it seems that many still believe that Vince McMahon will be involved in wrestling again sooner rather than later. On Justin Barrassa's Undisputed podcast, Barrassa mentioned speaking with several executives in combat sports and pro wrestling, the belief is that McMahon will ultimately find himself involved again in professional wrestling. Vince's new company, 14th and I, is being heavily involved with sports, media, and entertainment. However, could Vince McMahon once again see himself in the pro wrestling business? Would you want Vince McMahon coming back into wrestling?
I mean, I wouldn't care as long as he helped people like Austin Theory or Shanae or Blazer and plenty more that either been released or haven't been treated fairly in the business. So, yeah, I mean, as long as he helped those people, I wouldn't care.
And finally, prayers for Will Ospreay. Our final story today shares some sad personal news related to Will Ospreay. Unfortunately, Ospreay revealed via X that his granddad had passed away, and he found out just as he landed in Mexico for AEW Grand Slam. Personal note, I landed in Mexico this morning at 3 AM. Once landed, I had a phone call from my mum telling me my granddad had passed this morning. Extremely close to my granddad, he was a bloody hero to me. Your love and support eased my pain. Thank you so much. Ospreay still managed to compete on AEW TV last night, which must have been extremely difficult. We're offering our condolences to Ospreay and his family during this difficult time.
Rumor has it who, 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 rumor has it. Let's get to the last video.
What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including, it's official, this will be Goldberg's last match ever. WWE didn't have any faith in Jey Uso. Stephanie McMahon drops a truth bomb on Vince McMahon. Is WWE telling writers to ignore the fans? The entire WWE PLE card is up in the air. Did Karrion Kross say goodbye to WWE? Is there hope for LA Knight fans now? Kane returns to wrestling, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new videos on Wrestlelamia XL. Now let's do the intro and get straight into our first story. Now our first story looks at, it's official, this will be Goldberg's last match ever. At top of today's news is now the official announcement that WWE Hall of Famer Bill Goldberg will challenge World Heavyweight Champion Gunther for his title at Saturday night's main event on 12th June. This match is being booked as Goldberg's last match ever, and it will be interesting to see how fans react to it, as WWE appears to be using it to counter-program AEW's All In pay-per-view, which airs the very same day.
If you my little baby, I'll go all in.
Next up, WWE didn't have any faith in Jey Uso. The recent news that Bill Goldberg is challenging Gunther for the world title seems to confirm previous reports about why WWE pulled the title off Jey Uso. The current belief is that Jey's title win was never booked to be long, and that WWE wanted Goldberg vs Gunther to be over a world title match to make the match seem even bigger. According to The Observer, when the decision was made to put the title on Uso, it had already been decided that it would be a short reign and that he would lose it back to Gunther. With Jey Uso advancing to the semi-finals of the King of the Ring tournament, some fans believe Jey will win the tournament at Night of Champions and then challenge Gunther again at SummerSlam. I guess WWE's real plan was just to have it as a feel-good moment for WrestleMania, and then as per their plan, he would have dropped it to Gunther anyway. Next up, Stephanie McMahon drops a truth bomb on Vince McMahon. Now, Stephanie McMahon isn't holding back when it comes to her father Vince McMahon. Wrestling's billion-dollar princess recently interviewed WWE President Nick Khan on a What's Your Story podcast, speaking about what drives Vince McMahon. His mindset was that if he could survive, he won. So just surviving was winning and still is winning for him today. And I don't know how you can ever beat someone at the end of the day if all they need to do is to survive to win. Nick Khan weighed in on Vince McMahon, noting, "So all credit to him, I only have admiration for him. As Paul said, Triple H said at his Hall of Fame speech, family's complicated. And obviously we don't get into any of that, but in terms of business, that guy's an empire builder." Stephanie continued analyzing what makes her father tick, telling Khan, "Absolutely is, and no one can take that away from him, no matter what, including himself, who's probably his biggest nemesis, himself." With Janelle Grant's lawsuit against Vince McMahon and WWE still going strong, it's unknown how things will work out for Vince. However, while the current company line is that Vince McMahon is done with WWE, some fans believe that this could all change depending on how things work out with Vince's various legal battles, and while he won't return running WWE, he may be able to ditch his pariah status. But is WWE telling writers to ignore the fans? Another tantalizing takeaway from Nick Khan's chat with Stephanie McMahon concerns WWE's booking. Khan told Stephanie, "We encourage our creative team and writers, don't program for that. Program for the universe, not for a small portion of the universe that wants to criticize you." Now obviously, whilst they're listening to some aspects as bringing back our truth, they're not listening to others where the main problem seems to stem from the awful theme songs that WWE keeps producing from Def Rebel. Fans have cried out loud with wanting change, and even with the recent hijacking of an NXT show, this still hasn't changed WWE's mind on keeping Def Rebel around. What they're appealing to aren't the fans, it's making the most profit as possible. It's understandable why Khan appears to take this route, however one day it could majorly backfire.
Well, I did a poll on it. I asked people, was this cap? And 80% said yes, and 20% say no. So when they said that we trained our creative team to ignore the noise, 80% say cap, and 20% say no. So,
cap.
Next up, an entire WWE PLE card is up in the air. Now, Liv Morgan's recent injury on Raw was unfortunate not only for her, but for WWE's plans for its upcoming Evolution PLE. A new report in this week's Observer states, the Evolution show has to be redone due to Liv Morgan's injury, and the entire card is up in the air. WrestleVotes previously noted, "I was told this morning that injury has caused a lot of the Evolution card to basically be scrapped, to be ripped up and starting from scratch, because she was pegged for the big time tag team match that isn't going to happen now. The spot is going to be filled by somebody else, and it's going to have a lot of ripple effects." Morgan has been a featured player on Raw for over a year, and fans and pundits alike are pondering who will step in to take her place not only at Evolution, but on the Red brand. One rumor is that Roxanne Perez could take Liv's spot. Given how WWE has teased tension between Liv and Roxanne Perez prior to Morgan's injury, WWE may find itself in an advantageous spot for Roxanne Perez.
oh my God, can you just have Roxanne fill in for Liv Morgan so that way we can get those belts off of off of Raquel, so that way the Bellas can win it? Like, come on, man, play too much. It's not that hard. Just have Roxanne fill in, and then have them face the Bellas at Evolution or SummerSlam. It's not that hard.
Next up, did Karrion Kross say goodbye to WWE? Now, is Karrion Kross leaving WWE? That's one of the biggest questions among WWE fans as they ponder the two-time NXT champion's future in the promotion, especially in light of the rumors that his current contract ends this summer. A fan recently posted a video of Kross and his wife Scarlett Bordeaux exiting the arena after a match on Main Event, which thought Kross was waving goodbye to his many fans. However, Fightful Select recently addressed the situation, stating there were some who were concerned that Karrion Kross and Scarlett did a farewell after his Main Event taping match on Monday. We're told by those internally that it was a good soldier nod. Kross remains one of WWE's most popular yet underutilized superstars. If the promotion doesn't reach an agreement with him, it could be one of WWE's biggest blunders in recent memory. Next up, is Mr. Iguana yesterday's news already in WWE? A move over Mr. Iguana, as WWE now has a new favorite luchador in mind. WrestleVotes is reporting, we're told WWE has a significant interest in making yet another AAA star a prominent part of their main roster, that being Psycho Clown. Psycho Clown, who is a third-generation wrestler, has been working under his current gimmick with AAA since 2007 and also appeared briefly on TNA television back in 2019. WWE is said to be intrigued by his character and the marketing abilities that are attached to it. Now, all kidding aside about Mr. Iguana, who WWE decided to debut on the main roster rather than have him work in NXT first, but if WWE does sign Psycho Clown, it's further evidence of how WWE is treating marketability as a major fact in its plans for a talent. You may recall Meltzer's recent comments. The thing I think is important, and there's the real takeaway, is a lesson that is far more important as a wrestler to come up with something unique, along with having ability, than just worrying about your ability. Whilst this is just speculation, this potential signing invites talk about whether WWE executives are pushing the company's bookers to sign talent at the possible risk of ignoring talent who are over with the fans but just not pushed, aka Karrion Kross. Next up, who is the fourth man? Now, could a fourth WWE superstar end up joining Seth Rollins' new faction? Well, Bodyslam.net's Corey Hayes recently brought up internal discussions in WWE to add someone to the group, with Ethan Page and Ricky Saints' names coming up in the talks. Now, this could be a major career boost for either Page or Saints, as Rollins' faction is booked as a main event group. Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed have already made waves as part of Seth's faction, which means a fourth member could make Rollins the most powerful man on Raw, if not the entire WWE. However, Paul Heyman quickly chimed in after seeing these reports. He posted a screenshot of the article with a red banner that read, "Since it's not April Fool's Day, I guess it's Clickbait Thursday. Is WWE just trying to swerve us?"
Y'all comment down below and let me know who you want to see in Seth Rollins' faction. Do y'all want to see Ethan Page in the group, or do you want to see Ricky Saints in the group? Now, if Ricky joins the group, he's a heel. But if Ethan Page joins, it will make sense. To me, it would. But y'all comment down below, let me know.
Next up, is there hope for LA Knight fans now? Now, is there a glimmer of light for people who support the Yeah movement? A new report from WrestleVote suggests LA Knight could find himself on Raw and feuding with Seth Rollins' faction. WrestleVote is reporting, according to those within the company, we are told more than a handful of people are advocating for LA Knight to be moved to the Raw brand in the near future, as his presence on Netflix could be viewed as something of a refreshing change. Knight was one of the competitors in the recent men's Money in the Bank ladder match, who got the short end of the stick thanks to Seth Rollins' allies Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed interfering on his behalf. Unlike the others, Knight appears to be doing something about it, as he cost Bronson Reed his chance to advance in the King of the Ring tournament on this week's Raw. Now, might this be a start of Knight jumping to the red brand? Well, it can't be ruled out, and the only question is whether Knight will get a renewed push or just find himself in a new environment and jobbing to a fresh set of opponents. Would you guys like to see Knight on Raw, and if so, could it help him get back on track?
Yeah, I think he should come to Raw. I mean, if he's going to beef with Seth Rollins in this faction, I think he should. But, I mean, the question is, will Seth Rollins win the WWE title and bring in the Raw and then have the World Heavyweight Champion come to SmackDown? That's what I want to know. But, I mean, if Roman comes back, I don't know. I can't see Seth Rollins winning the belt. But he's going to win it eventually, you know, especially if there's a rumor saying that he's going to face Sami Zayn next year. So, I don't know, man.
Next up is Cora Jade done with WWE. Now, was Alana Black, aka former superstar Cora Jade, open to a WWE return after they released her? Black, whose recent WWE release surprised some fans, commented on a potential WWE return. Definitely, I feel the door is open. I'm 24 years old. I feel like I didn't end on horrible terms there. Like I said, yeah, there are things that piss me off, but I'm a human and I love wrestling, so that's only natural. But I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh my god, my time there was so horrible, I never want to go back. Absolutely not. Black discussed many aspects of a WWE run, both positive and negative, including how working there fulfilled a childhood dream. She refuted the arguments that she was injury prone and also discussed how she was body shamed during her time in the company due to her small frame. She also discussed a potential future in AEW, saying, I would definitely be open to going to AEW. I loved my time there. I love a lot of friends there. I watch all the shows. I love the fact that they have as much creative freedom as they do. I'm so much for storylines and characters, so I do feel like they are very creatively free in that way. Would you guys like to see Alana Black in AEW?
I mean, I don't got a problem with it as long as you don't get towed up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, she's on the card on this poster, so we'll see how it goes, but I'm rooting for her.
And finally, Kane returning to wrestling. And last but not least, fans of the Big Red Machine now have a chance to see him in action, as Northeast Wrestling recently announced via X that Kane will be at their show, which also includes other WWE alumni like Maria Kanellis, Isla Dawn, Shelton Benjamin, MVP, and Matt Riddle. Well, this is kind of a big deal, as Glenn Jacobs hasn't revived his Kane character since really 2021's Royal Rumble. Although he's made some appearances in WWE since that time, it wasn't in full character and gear.
Well, that's that. So y'all comment down below and pick a topic and y'all discuss down in the comment box, all right? Get in the comment box and make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, share if you do. And I'll let y'all know if I have another rumor report. And when I do, I'll get back on it, okay? Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, share if you're new. And I'll catch y'all in the next video, all right? Oh, and by the way, I might as well end it. I should have done this in the middle of the video, but I might as well do it. So let me go ahead and advertise this. Okay, I just want to stop the video real quick to let y'all know that Raquel got some new merch for the summer, dog. And it's black and gold. It's going down for real. Now, the price is not right, but hey, the shipping is free with the code on the bottom. So you already know, if you got an extra 40, go ahead and cop this merch. Because this merch is on fire. And this girl is on fire. Raquel is off the scale with this merch, dog. And also the link is going to be on the bio, so you already know. Let's get back to the video. Raquelio! There you go. So get in the comment box. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, share if you're new, and I'll catch y'all in the next video, all right? I'm out.